meeting 11:30 to order. If you could stand for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Sloan. Mrs. Brewer. Here. Mr. Busecker.
Here.
Mr. Manuel.
Here.
And Mrs. Hill.
I'd like to welcome everyone here this evening. And our first item is reviewing and approving our agenda. Are there any additions or deletions to the printed agenda? If we have none, can I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve A and B.
Second. And Scott? Roll call for approval of the minutes.
Oh, A, B, and C, sorry, right? A, B, and C is
A, B.
on one.
A and B is one,
Oh.
C is the second. Got it.
Mr. Busecker.
Yeah.
Mr. Manuel.
Yes.
Dr. Swab.
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer. Yes.
Next is approving the minutes of the special meeting.
So moved.
Thanks, Teresa. Second. Thanks, Scott. Any discussions or questions regarding the minutes that we had to review? No, roll call for approval, please.
Mr. Busecker.
Yes.
Mr. Manuel.
Yes.
Dr. Swab.
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer. Yes.
Next is our administrative reports. I think, Joe, you're the representative.
This is it, right?
Yeah.
I have just a few things that I wanted to talk about here tonight. We've got a couple of construction pieces that I wanted to give you updates on. There was some water pooling out here in this access road coming out here that you just drove out on. Skip rented a mini excavator and came out and dug a trench, put in the tile, connected it to the existing tile that goes over the baseball diamond. And we had that big rain just a few nights ago, and there was zero water on the road. So what he's doing is working just perfect. So shout out to Skip for doing that. The second piece is, again, with Skip and the group, we have received 2 different grants to help with greenhouses here in this district. We're going to put up a big one this fall. Until then, we have another grant through the kitchen to put up a small greenhouse in the courtyard for everybody to use. That greenhouse has been delivered. Skip's already dug out the dirt. Skip and Aaron went out there the last couple days and were digging dirt. Got everything leveled off, got gravel in there and ready to go with this temporary greenhouse that'll be out there. So it's moving along quite well, and we're real happy about that. Update on our school resource officer situation. We did come to an agreement with the Dark County Sheriff's Department to supply a school resource officer that would be here a full 8 hours each day, which is an amazing piece. So they're actually going to clock in when they get out of their car here, and then they will clock in when they get here, clock out when they leave. So all 8 hours will be here on campus, and that is a big difference between what we were getting and what we will be getting. She will be introducing herself and being acclimated over the summer, and then next fall she'll be fully ready to go with us here next fall. Tonight with us, there are 2 people on the agenda to be approved tonight if everything goes well, and they're here in our audience. Mrs. Jody Petty will be our assistant principal, and our athletic director, Mr. Chris Hunter. So, thank you for coming, and of course, Corey family as well. So that is my report, unless you guys have questions.
I'm going to be very brief tonight. I want to tell you about a couple things, and I want to expand on what Ms. Hirsch was talking about on the cafeteria grant. Mrs. Clark actually got almost all the equipment that she wanted. We have a pass-through coming in that's going to be used in the kitchen. But the one thing that we found as we talked to the consultant on the grant, because there was no use, we don't replace anything unless it actually needs it or it's going to benefit the district. So we were talking to them, and with Mrs. Walters having this other grant, we talked about how we could enhance the cafeteria, because that was the whole point of this. Farm to school, we're supposed to be creating healthy foods and organic foods to use in the kitchen. Well, the other things that are being purchased and are coming here are these self-contained units, and Mr. Hurst and I saw these over at OSBA last year, and they were amazing. And luckily, Mrs. Clark and Mrs. Walters thought the same thing, and they looked at it. We have 2 units coming from Pork Farms, and they're self-contained growing units that you can bake lettuce, you can, and I don't have the numbers of how quickly they grow. I think it's in 5 to 6 weeks, you can have a whole rotation of lettuce out of these units. And she's feeling like we're getting 2 of these units. They're fairly expensive, but they're unique. They're unique to the industry. So that's going to be a great thing, because she feels like she can supply the salad bar, which has been a new addition this year. We have a salad bar twice a week, isn't it? Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so between that, between the beds that are being put out in the courtyard with the greenhouse, and the greenhouse will contain 6 units. They're grow units. They're not as expensive units as these self-contained ones are, but they'll be outside, so they'll be influenced by outside activity, sun, the watering out there, and there are 80 pots in each, so they'll be able to produce 480 of whatever vegetables that we choose to put in there, which should also help supply the cafeteria. So we're pretty excited about this.
That's pretty neat.
It is.
It's state of the art.
So is the ad class for members?
What do you start with?
You start with, well, Mr. Hurst has done this. This is hydroponic.
Hydroponics, this is up my alley right here. No, the lettuce seeds and whatever you put in there go into basically, it's called blockable, but it's the equivalent of what you would see in the wall of your house with insulation. It's a fibrous, porous substrate that you stick the seed in, and as the water and nutrients run across it, it grows without soil. So it's a cool piece to have. So it's very, very different. It's innovative, it's cutting edge. It's been around, I say it's cutting edge, it's been around for a while. It's been around, well, since I was a teacher.
I was going to say, anytime Bradford and Cutting Edge get on the second.
We're trying here.
So, but the neat thing about this one is the light is on a post in the middle, and then this unit literally closes around a single light. So it surrounds the whole thing, it absorbs all the light that way, it's more efficient. And then you don't have as many lights around it, polluting everything around and that sort of thing too. And you don't have quite as many hands on the lettuce that you're going to be eating. So it's a really cool piece.
Oh,
I'm sure. This is going out in the courtyard, right?
These pieces will actually go in the front lobby of the building. So as you walk in the front door, they will be there. Now, again, they'll be enclosed, you won't be able to see the lettuce right away, but we'll have signage there and everything to show this is what we're doing and how it's working.
Nice.
But in answer to your question, the 6 units are going to be in the greenhouse, which I didn't bring a big picture of the greenhouse. This is the greenhouse we're going to erect out there. It's a 12 by 15 greenhouse.
That's the temporary.
That's, well, it's not really,
It's gonna stay, but it's not the big one.
it's a mobile. We had to get a mobile unit, so it's mobile in that it can be constructed and deconstructed. So the other thing that we're doing, and Cody, we just got it in yesterday, a time delay camera. So as the crops are growing, we talked about maybe every hour, 1 click, so that it can be used in the classroom. The other thing that with the Pork Farms, they give a full K-12 curriculum with the purchase of these units that can be used as a teaching tool. And it's going to be very hands-on learning for all these kids. I mean, we're really excited about this, and I think it's going to be a great thing, not only for the health of the students, but just for the learning experience.
a lot different than a petri dish with a piece of corn, right? And
Yeah.
some dirt.
And the goal is just like Clyde was saying, our kids will be eating, you can't get fresher produce than what they're going to be eating in the cafeteria with us. So, it may not be full service right away, but I, just like you said, twice a week maybe, once a week to start with, those type of things. The goal is every day, once everything's in full bloom, but it'll be a great process all the way across the board. It's really nice.
And the other thing is that because this grant was to provide fruit, we were allowed to purchase fruit trees that are now placed out on the other side, on the north side of the property. And there are 20 fruit trees out there now, pears, peaches, apples, and Skip's been wonderful on this. He's done a study of it, and the trees that we purchase are to produce fairly quickly. So that was part of this grant. It was a little bit different way. When we kept talking to the lady with the grant, we just kept saying, okay, if you could do this, can you do this? And we expanded this into a different area than what they've had before with this grant. So we're pretty excited about it. We're going to take films of it. We're going to send it to Farm to School, and we're hopeful to get more grants to continue this activity. And I think between that and CEP, we're not only going to have free meals next year, but we're going to have healthy meals. And it's going to expose these kids to some of the things that they probably normally wouldn't get, because we're hoping to expand this into different fruits and vegetables. And we should have the facilities to be able to do it. So,
Pretty good.
so that's the exciting thing. When I gave you a document tonight that talks about the financial health indicators, and we are going through a massive amount of change in how we're viewed financially, and how we operate, as I've shared with you before. And there are some bills that are looking at different ways for us to operate, but this indicator that came out, I was very pleased, because if you look at it, this is a snapshot of us at the end of 2024. And I looked at this, and I meant to bone up on this a little bit, but this actually gives you a lot of the indicators of the district and how we need to be viewed. And the one reason we had a little bit of a problem, because one year we had a decline in our school district income tax. So the cautionary outlook that you see is because of that small decline in our school district income tax, which we scored as high as possible in every other respect. So it was the financial health indicators were very kind to us, and I think it's something this district can be proud of, because we've managed to do fiscally, apparently, the model the state sets. So if you want to review that at your convenience, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to go over that. But there's a lot of information in this packet. It can give you an idea of some of the operational quality that we're producing. So. And with that, I will conclude my report.
I have one question about the number 7 that we got the yellow there. Is that from like the 1 3/4% that we collect the income tax?
Yes, that is the collections, and what their only concern is we have a downturn, which there's a lot of things that can impact that. I will tell you that our downturn was not typical of what I was seeing with other districts. I was a little bit concerned with that, but I think we had an anomaly, and there's no way for me to know what that anomaly would have been. But you've got a farming community, depending on how the farming community operates in a particular year, that can have a huge impact on the rural community. So
I was just, I didn't know what the income tax, but I wondered.
Yes,
the one-
that is a 1 3/4% income tax.
Okay.
We're very vital lifeline to the school.
Any other questions, Carolyn? No? Did you have any public participation?
Good night.
Next item is approving the financial report from the treasurer. Carla, can you give us a high-level overview of what you'd like us to approve tonight?
Yes, and you'll go down through there, 1 through actually 5 are typical. We have the donations, 6, 7. We have a credit card application. We have grants that we are applying for, and the COPS grant has a little bit more information. We talked about it last month, but that gives us some detail of some grants that we're applying for. Excuse me. One thing, I was on 13, we have a new plan with the school district for the consolidated grants. We've got some financial statement preparations. And 15, Mr. Hurst applied for additional funding from AES, and we didn't know what the outcome of it was going to be. That's from the electrical units that we purchased for the charging stations. And that was additional funding they gave. We didn't spend any more money, but they had money left over, so they shared that with us.
Good job.
So that was very advantageous. We are in an energy study with Bradford to determine our peaking in the building. And then number 17 is just basically, we had a plan. It hadn't been used for a long time. It's a retirement plan. And we found out that it had expired, it had gone dormant. So this is to re-up that plan in the same sense that it was before. Oh, yes, that was the end.
Number 10, you said we're applying for that COPS grant, we get 500,000 and we get 25 matching costs for the school. When, will you know about that? I mean, is that?
Well, we haven't applied yet, we're in the process. We have a report that's due in about, it's 8 days, and then we have to do it by the 25th of the month, have it complete in its entirety with the total narrative. And we've had a lot of discussions, there are a lot of needs in this district since the building was built. At the time it was, it needs to be brought up to date with all the items that are currently in school buildings for protection of the students. So that's what that's gonna focus on, and you might want to expand on
I
that.
would even expand just a touch. We had a parent come and talk about the security in our building with alarms on doors and things like that. We are working those type of things in this. We are putting, if this goes through, we will relocate the school resource officer from the office space that he's got now to right out in front of the building, right next to the front doors. So it would be very visible there. Communication systems through the building, so we would have a central clock system, so to speak, that if something were to happen and we needed to communicate a large text message, so to speak, to everybody in the building, we would just run that across the screen instead of clocks. So there's a number of different things that would be really, really helpful to our building with this grant, and we hope it goes through. And to answer your question, I feel like late September is when we heard the last go round.
It usually takes around 3 months, but they don't give you a projected date, so I don't think we have a projected
I
date.
think that's optimistic to hit late September.
Thanks. And motion to approve the items presented. Thanks, Scott.
I'll second.
Any further questions or discussion on this? If there are none, roll call for approval, please.
Mr. Desacker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
So we have no business items tonight, but our new business items are item 1 through 25. Mr. Hurst, if you're able to give us a high-level overview of what you would like us to approve.
Absolutely, and I would like to remind people, if they're watching online, this is posted on our website, so you can follow along with us as we go through this, but I will hit the higher points here. So we've got some resignations and some employments here. Specifically, we've got the EMIS coordinator now in the building. So letter C and letter E are both related to that. We've got 2 people that are going to be hired on as administrators here. And like I said, they are here tonight, Mr. Connor and Mrs. Petty. We've got some contracts there for custodial help. One of our bus drivers is now certified for being an OBI or on-board instructor, so he can instruct other drivers that would like to come into the district, hint, hint, if anybody's looking for a job. We have a substitute elementary teacher coming in for the summer program. We do have some things that we need to get rid of. We've got some old track mats that were donated to us from Franklin Monroe many years back before we built our new complex. We've got some old outdated football equipment that hasn't been used for a number of years, and it's basically rusted and not usable anymore. And then number 12, we also have some tech equipment in the same way. Other high points, I'd like to point out number 8, we are going to blacktop seal the parking lot, everything but the main parking lot out here. That'll be done in 2 phases. It's supposed to be done before July 1st, so we're expecting next week or the following week for that to be completed. Number 12, like I said, was the obsolete tech that's gathering dust and hasn't been used for a while. 13, we're proud of with our new creations counselor that comes into the district and works with our kids 3 days a week. Number 14 is an analysis from Weibel to come in and check all of our systems and make sure they're running as efficiently as possible. Some other pieces here, number 16, we highlighted last month with Cheryl Clark being able to go out to Las Vegas for a conference and get recognized for all her hard work and this grant that she's put in. And she and Lori and Pam will be able to go out there with the support and complete support of the grant that they had received. Number 18 is a big change from what we had before. We had our public school works program had been purchased now by Raptor Technologies. It did go up significantly in price, but we are signing a 2-year contract, and they've reduced the price just a little bit for us, but included some extra pieces that will help out Mr. Connor. This will help out with coaches as well, so when they're doing CPR, concussion protocol, all the required pieces for coaches to go in, they'll be able to use this program now to do that as well. Pay schools, parents will be able to use the credit cards for their lunchroom. Number 22 is our traditional Blizzard bag resolution, but they changed the name again to online days. We still have it called remote learning, and our contract provides a hyphenated piece in there. It's supposed to be done by August 1st, but we figured we'd get it done this month. Number 22 is a new one added onto the agenda late, but we want to go ahead and start interviewing architects and engineers to do a field house. And the field house is not mentioned in this motion, but that is the reason that that's there, is to start the ball rolling in the field house. Number 24 is cleaning and painting of the roof. We'd like to make all the green roof black and do that before the greenhouse gets here, so we don't have paint splatter. And before, right now, we've been told we are receiving the grant. You guys all know this, you guys don't, for solar panels on the roof. If we get the grant in full, we will put the solar panels up and redo the flat roofs. That wouldn't affect the area that we're talking about here, but we don't want to be cleaning next to the new roof elsewhere. And then the last one is our ACES contract for students going over to the Council on Rural Services teams. That concludes that part of the new business.
I have one question on
Sure.
the EMIS position. It says $2.50 an hour. I take it that's on top of her normal salary.
Yeah, I'll go with the position, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So whenever she does
Really,
EMIS, she'll clock in and she'll get $2.50 more an hour.
That's
Then
exactly.
she'll go back to her regular pay.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, when she's in the classroom, she'll get 8 pay. When she's down with us, she gets 8 pay plus $2.50.
It just looked a little cheap.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something?
That's a good gift.
We found a needle in a haystack for that one, right?
We might be breaking some lady laws.
Motion to approve the items presented tonight.
So moved.
I'll second.
And, right, and Maria, any other questions or clarifications? No, all for approval, please.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
Of course, number 26 is reemploying Aaron for a 2-year contract.
Any motion to approve?
I'll second.
Any questions? or
Scott's made the motion if you don't.
Got it? Got it.
She did. Any other questions or discussion? Yeah, none, roll call for approval.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Abstain.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
And the last one is to wash buses by Mr. Clark and recommend the contract renewal for Saturday for Clockwork.
Any motion to approve?
So moved.
And I'll second. Any discussions or questions? Hearing none, then roll call for approval.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Abstain.
Next item is a motion to enter executive session for item G listed on our agenda.
So moved.
A second,
Second.
roll call for executive session.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer.
Yes.
Sounds good.
And there will be no motions or actions taken after the executive session.